I'm just going to mention right now, I keep using this pink filter because it's the only filter that lets me have almost my own eye color in this app. Every other filter changes my eyes to brown in this app, and I don't have brown eyes. Here's the cat on my lap. Anyways, I was going to say, since Sukkot, which is the Festival of Booths or the Feast of Tabernacles, is over now, I was complaining to God all through it, as I am prone to do, because, first of all, I said I was not going to build a booth this year. I'm just not going to do it. But then I felt totally bullied by the weather, because we had the ideal weather to dry out my muddy tarps that were in the yard so that I could just go hang them up on the porch and do a kind of booth on the porch. Okay, so I did it, and I thought about the guy you know as Jesus, who was actually Yahshua, because I call people by their real names, not the made-up English names that our Bibles gave to people. He gave the parable about the brother who said he wasn't going to do the thing that his father told him to do, and the other brother said he would do it but didn't do it, and the one who said he wouldn't do it went out and did it, and he asked his followers which one actually did it. So I was thinking, well, I guess it counts as me doing it, even though I said I wasn't going to do it. I actually did it. I complained all the way through it, but I did it anyways. So I was complaining not just about doing it, I was complaining about the fact that normally on the Feast of Tabernacles, the 1st and 8th day of it are commanded rest days. And I, as somebody who's so weak and sick, I count on those rest days. But this year, the 1st and 8th day fell on weekly Sabbaths. So there were no extra rest days. It was just the weekly Sabbaths. Normally, there's 2 more rest days besides the weekly Sabbath. So I'm really hurting and not getting as much rest as I need, and I was just trying to rest as much as possible. So it really hit me hard to hear that Israel was attacked on the 8th day. That Sabbath that was just a weekly Sabbath, and that we got cheated out of the extra Sabbath, and they're resting, and they're, Jewish people read in their services from Torah scrolls. I'm not Jewish, but I'm familiar with what they do. I just follow the whole Bible, and these holidays that Jewish people call Jewish holidays, no, they're God's holidays, and Jewish people just have always followed God, and I follow God, so I follow his holidays. And generally, in person, when I'm with Jewish people, they just assume I'm Jewish because I do everything like they do it. Except they don't follow their oral traditions, and that's the notable difference. Anyways, they read every week in their services from Torah scrolls, which is Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. It's in a scroll, and they have an allotted portion they read for each week. And as they're doing it, they're rolling up the scroll from one side to the other. And then what happens on the 8th day of Sukkot is they've reached the end of the scroll, so everybody stands up in the service around, like in the sanctuary, instead of sitting in their seats. They stand around the edge, and the Torah scroll is completely unrolled, and everybody holds it because it's that long, and then they roll it back up so that they can start from the beginning of the Torah scroll. So that's how Jewish people spend that 8th day, that commanded rest, is they roll up their scrolls. So whether somebody was resting or rolling up their scrolls, the terrorists that attacked Israel knew that they would be doing that, and they chose that holy day to attack them so that they would be caught off guard. and that they've done a history of that. There was a Yom Kippur War where the day that they spend mourning and fasting and with all electronics off, they attacked them that day. Now they've attacked them on the 8th day of the Feast of Tabernacles. And tonight I went to a Zoom meeting with the Pittsburgh Federation, the Jewish Federation of Pittsburgh. They sent me an email and I clicked on the Zoom link and I attended their meeting. And I was glad that both the current mayor of Pittsburgh attended and the previous mayor of Pittsburgh attended. They're not Jewish, so I was glad that they came. And there were 100 of us just on Zoom, and the room was packed where they were doing it. It was standing room only. And they were just giving talks. And I thought the most meaningful talk was a mom whose teenage son went on like a camping trip to Israel right now. And she was quoting all the people that said, oh, it'll be good for him and he should go with other kids his age to Israel. And now he's there in the middle of this war in bomb shelters. And she's stuck in Pittsburgh wondering how her son's going to be. And there's no flights in or out of Israel because of these terrorists attacking them. And there's all kinds of hostages that have been taken. And I don't see people on TikTok doing videos about this. And this is a tragedy.